Good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. This is True Talk Arena. Please, we are out again. The topic for today is effect of Western civilization on African culture. Effect of Western civilization on African culture. Civilization and culture. Well, before I go deeper into this, I will want to give the literal meaning of civilization. Civilization is a term used to describe a particular level of improvement in the development continuum. It can also be said to be a relatively high level of cultural and technological development, refinement of thought, manners, or taste. Why I will want to give a literal meaning of culture as well, so that before we start talking about civilization, the impact on culture or something, you will get a glimpse of what I'm talking about. The word culture is usually used to describe the ideas, customs, and social behavior of a particular people or society. Culture can be said to be the customary belief, social forms, and material traits of a racial, religious, and social group, also the characteristic feature of everyday existence. What I mean by everyday existence is your way of life day to day. The way things are done on daily basis. Everyday existence. When people reason about culture, they sometimes look at it in a simple way. Culture is not all about dancing. It is not just the music people sing. Culture is not just about costume. It is beyond social celebrations and the way marriages are conducted. Culture is all about the total way of life of people living together, such as the way people live, eat, worship, and produce, and what they eat as well. That is culture, the total way of people, the general way of living of the people in a particular society. Culture is the collectivity of human activities and general principles which tends toward guiding ideas. Civilization can be distinguished from other culture by its high level of social complexity and organization. Civilization came into Africa through its contact with Europe through the Atlantic slave trade, missionaries, and education. These are the ways civilization was transported into Africa through missionaries and education. Africa. Talking about Africa, I know every one of us know Africa. Africa is a continent in the world. Africa is the world's second largest and second most populous continent after Asia. It is the continent with the highest number of black race. Now, I want to narrow down the topic to the effect of Western civilization on African culture. You see, majority of the countries in Africa, they tend to leave their own culture and now adopting the Western culture. There are some aspects of African culture which the Western civilization has immensely affected. The economic effect, the social effect, the political effect. We have so many like that. Talking about the economic effect, one of the major effects of European colonialism was the progressive integration of Africa into the world's capitalist system, within which Africa functioned primarily as the source of raw material for Western industrial production. You see, at a point, Africa was like brainwashed to produce cash crop, which majority of these could be used as raw materials for the Western countries. So we produce the raw materials in Africa, they send forth to the Western countries where they are used to produce the finished goods, and then they send back to us in Africa. These are some of the economic effects civilization has caused us. There was a sudden shift in production mode from the production of food crop to cash crop, a situation that caused hunger and starvation in Africa. You see, to a certain extent, in some African country, where people no longer produce food crop, and these food crops are what people basically depend on to avoid hunger. We have majority of the places, majority of the countries in Africa where cash crops are being produced. Now, majority of this cash crop, they all have their own seasons. So now tell me, when cash crop has its own season and cash crop that you produce basically, they are not things you can just sit down and start taking. When we talk about cash crop, we talk of palm trees, cocoa, and the likes. Even if you have 50 acres of land, of palm trees, of palms, or whatsoever, the output, which is basically red oil. Can you drink red oil alone and be satisfied? When food crop is not encouraged. You see, after a while, Africans begin to produce more of what you need less, and they produce less of what you need most. Africa was turned to be producer of primary raw materials, a situation that caused unequal exchange. The social effect of civilization on Africa. Traditional African family values. Please break it down very rapidly. A situation whereby extended family gives way to nuclear family. Little wonders there's no more respect for ages, no more respect for values, such as the younger ones finding it difficult to greet their elderly ones. You see, it is nowadays in Africa, there's no longer respect. You see, among all the continents in the world, we were conversant or were well known for respect. In the olden days, you see, where there's always an hierarchy of age, that somebody who is older than you by